first as part of the getting to know Bill. It's about before I even got into real estate. So I ran a large private restaurant group, and for those who have spent any time in hospitality or retail or restaurants, then you know that that's just long hours and not a lot of pay. And frankly, I was just burnt out on it. However, I didn't really have the time, and I don't know that I was consciously looking for something else yet. And this lady who's still a dear friend of mine was the broker owner of the largest independent real estate firm in our town at that time. She asked me what I now call the $1 million question. When I teach agents about this, I say that the $1 million question is, have you ever thought about a career in real estate? And what excites me a lot about the business that we're in is that for people who do it well and deliver great service to their buyers and to their sellers, there's a lot of financial opportunity in this business. So she asked me the $1 million question. I said, well, no, I really haven't thought about getting into real estate. And she says, well, here's what we do. I'll pay you for you to go to real estate school. And when you go to real estate school, come work for me. So June of 2008, I was, for my first 13 months in real estate, what Zig Ziglar used to call a motivated idiot. I made about, I think looking back, it was about $18,000 in my first full year. And at the time, it felt like I was doing everything that I could possibly do, working as hard as I could work, working as many hours as I could possibly work. And I was like the guy who was accustomed to working 70, 80, 90 hours a week, and I felt like I was giving it everything I could. And it just wasn't working out. And so I remember walking in her office and being ready to quit. And at the time, she was in discussions with a large national franchise company about a merger acquisition, and she said, well, before you do that, go to this event and hear these people out and see what you think about that, because we're thinking about making a move. And so that would have been August, September of 2009. I go to this event and I see people sitting on stage who are having the best years of their lives selling real estate in arguably one of the worst real estate markets since the Great Depression. And I was just maybe naive or brash or dumb or whatever it was. I was 27 at the time, and I thought, if they can do it, I can do it. And then our independent firm became part of that national franchise, and I went to a number of trainings, hired a coach. And this small team that I was on ended up finishing in the top 10 in our MLS that year, which was a pretty big deal, obviously. And that was in 2010, when comparatively just houses weren't selling. And I had a really interesting discovery at that point, and my discovery was, I really don't like the general public. And just so we're all on the same page here, I think people are great just the way that they are. I just didn't have any desire to continue to work with buyers and sellers. Mostly, I think, in retrospect, because I hadn't refined the process of working with them properly. I was just sort of running around all over the place. So an opportunity came up for me to become a sales manager with this franchise company, and I did that for about 5 years quite successfully. Really learned a lot. I tell people it was kind of like getting an on-the-job MBA over that 4.5 or 5 year period. Worked with a lot of great people, learned a lot, fell on my face a lot, scratched my knees up a lot. Ended up recruiting a couple of hundred people, helped a lot of folks build teams. Just really enjoyed that. And like everything else, I think it has a season. And had an opportunity to become a national sales trainer with this franchise company, and owe a lot of gratitude to all the folks that were involved in that era of my life. Ultimately, what got me to where we are today and the decision to launch my own company was I was spending about half of the year on the road. As a husband and a dad of 3 young kids, being on the road half the year was just tough. And we determined it just wasn't for me. So I looked around at other opportunities that were in front of me, and it all kind of felt like from the frying pan and into the fryer. And I've always had this entrepreneurial bone in me that previously I felt like I'd been given that opportunity yet within some sort of a predetermined structure or umbrella. And this just looked like a really good chance for me to go do what I have a lot of experience doing and a lot of passion to do as well. So that's how the coaching company was born.